absolutely thrilled to be in Castle Hill tonight, the constituency of St. Mary's North. And you wonderful people in this constituency, I'm delighted to be with you this evening as the United Progressive Party continues to demonstrate to these people that we are not afraid of them. We are going to take on the Antigua Labour Party and win! And we are going to win again in St. Mary's North. Brothers and sisters, and my dear good people, these are challenging times, but the United Progressive Party has demonstrated that we have the men, the women, and the measures to keep this nation on course despite the difficulties and the challenges that we face. And so, we are proud of the fact that we can say to you that you are in safe hands with the United Progressive Party. You are in safe hands with the United Progressive Party. You are in safe hands with your humble servant. Because, brothers and sisters, over the years we have demonstrated that we are a people's government, that we are deeply rooted in the ordinary men and women of this country. And our focus, and our desire, and our determination is to continue to deliver for and on behalf of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Brothers and sisters, I want to be honest with you and to make it plain that obviously we would wish to know, brothers and sisters, that we can deliver everything for everybody. But I want to say to you, we have to come to terms with certain realities. And those realities, my dear good people, have to do with the fact that when the United Progressive Party took office in 2004, we had the daunting task of having to correct nearly 53 years of mismanagement by the Antigua Labour Party. We had to restore this nation's image in the eyes of the international community. I will continue to make the point that when we took office, my dear good people, this nation was regarded as a rogue and bandit nation. This country was discredited in the eyes of the international community. Nobody wanted to do any business with Antigua and Barbuda prior to 2004. And so, brothers and sisters, we had to embark upon the process of restoring the image of Antigua and Barbuda. That is very important, as I keep stressing. Do we want to go back to a situation where Antigua and Barbuda is regarded as a rogue and bandit state? No, we don't. We don't want to have a situation where, you remember, some of you can remember, when you used to have to go through Puerto Rico and in other places, Antiguans and Barbudans used to be treated in such a way as to suggest to you that these people don't want you in their country because of what was happening with the leadership in Antigua and Barbuda. That is a fact. And we have had situations, my dear good people, where this government, after 2004, had to go all over the world and make sure that we explain to these people, look, you're not dealing with Baldwin, or you're dealing with a new administration. You're dealing with people who are willing to live up to their obligations, who are willing to do what is right in the interest of the people of Antigua and Barbuda and the regional community. So we have done that. We have restored Antigua and Barbuda's image in the eyes of the world. We are respected in the world today. That is a fact, and if it's one thing we can be proud of, is that. But brothers and sisters, I don't have a lot of time tonight. I just want to say to you, good people in this constituency, that This government has shown that it has the capacity to meet the challenges that confront us and to keep the ship of state afloat. It is very important for you to understand that, because brothers and sisters, let me tell you, it has not been easy going in recent years. It has been difficult since 2004, but it became even more difficult in recent years. But we have shown, despite these challenges, that we are holding our own, and Antigua and Barbuda, my dear good people, will continue to rise and move forward under the leadership of the United Progressive Party. When it comes to people like Baldwin Joseph, the least said about them, the better, because they have been weighed in the balance and found wanting on so many occasions, my dear good people. This man parades himself as some kind of paragon of virtue and wants to cast aspersions against a lot of people chatting a lot of nonsense. And some people are gullible enough to want to swallow the rubbish that comes out of the mouth of people like Baldwin Joseph. But brothers and sisters, I want to say to you tonight, my dear good people, that what is most important at this time is for all of us to recognize and understand what we're dealing with. The Antigua Labour Party is not about you and about country. The Antigua Labour Party is about just that. The Antigua Labour Party, and they are doing everything in their power to try to return to office to ensure, my dear good people, that whatever is pending, whatever is there for them to face, that they may be able to roll back that effort. But I want to say to them tonight, whether they like it or not, whether they want it or not, the process is going to take place, and they are going to have to face the music. So brothers and sisters, I just want to say that. I don't want to dwell into it further, but I just want to make that point. One of the main issues that we have to grapple with right now, brothers and sisters, you have a lot of people in this country, not a lot of people, but you have some people in this country who have set themselves up in such a way to seek to undermine the efforts of the United Progressive Party. You have a number of people in various avenues and walks of life who have set themselves up to undermine the United Progressive Party and to seek to derail the efforts of this party. And brothers and sisters, I just want to briefly speak to the issue with this one, that the power plant. Because that is a burning issue in this country. And I'm really taken aback by certain elements in Antigua and Barbuda who are seeking to discredit the efforts of the government of Antigua and Barbuda to ensure that at least we have something to say about generating of power in Antigua and Barbuda. And brothers and sisters, this whole idea where they're parading, talking about what that the plant all and all kind of nothing tall could be further from the truth. The facts are, my dear good people, that we have 30 megawatts of power that we as a people have. We own it. It belongs to us. And brothers and sisters, we are satisfied that the engines, the 6 engines that make up the 30 megawatt plant at Crabs are new. Brothers and sisters, these are engines. You hear them talking about, oh, just months operating, an engine broke down the half old. The rationale is so absolutely ridiculous, it isn't funny. You are talking about engines. From time to time, you're going to have these issues that develop with any engine. It's just like a vehicle. You buy a brand new vehicle, everything running good, and one day something happen. You have to go get a new part. You have to go do something. And the same thing with engines. You have to have the issue of maintenance. There are periods when you have to pull down the engine and do certain things in relation to it. These are things happen. So what I want to tell me? The APC engines run all the time. So they had their problems too when they started. We're aware that they had their problems too when they started with any new set of engines anywhere in the world. So to come and give people the impression that things are so radically wrong, none so. And furthermore, what they're seeking to do is to implicate your humble servant and Ambassador David Shaw that somehow or the other, right, we create a situation where the cost of the engines far exceed what it should be, and somehow or the other David Shaw and I end up with millions of dollars. Marvin Joseph and them said all kind of nonsense out there. Brothers and sisters, I can say to you loud and clear, you have a leader here whose hands are completely clean. My dear good people, we the United Progressive Party pride ourselves on that fact. Every single one of us. So brothers and sisters, those kind of allegations really, don't really mean much to me. Some people say, oh, they're saying this and they're saying that. I keep reminding people in the midget, Cooksman Walker. Those things that come on my shoulder like the gun. But the concern that I have, my dear good people, it is what this whole campaign, this vicious campaign of lies and innuendos, what that is doing to our relationship with China and indeed the relationship with other countries. That is the problem I have. Not so much what they're saying this and that and the other, because I am satisfied. And you see even Gothenburg, he wrote that letter and calling for this and calling for that. I met with him this morning. I met with him because, brothers and sisters, I know deep down in Gothenburg's heart, he knows that what they're saying is absolute lies. And as a matter of fact, he almost told me that today. And he went as far as to say, he said to on radio some time ago, and he reiterated that you have a bunch of people within the Antigua Labour Party who are paid to do what they're doing. Paid to do what they're doing. That is what is happening here, my dear good people. I want to reassure you that those engines are new engines and they are performing. Yes, they had a problem there the other day, right? Nobody tell you, and sometimes I blame the whole institution because they ought to be more proactive. Because nobody, despite all this, they come out, 16 ago. Now, 3 of them back up and working beautiful in the body, say nothing. You know what I'm saying? The 3 of them are working right now. So, brothers and sisters, the point I'm making, my dear good people, that you have a set of dangerous and wicked people in this country that don't want to see progress and goodness for the people of Antigua and Barbuda, and everything is about politics and party and power. And I'm saying that that is wrong, because when people go out of their way to discredit in such a vicious way what the Chinese have been able to do with us, I think it is unpatriotic. And I want to remind you that some time ago, when we had a problem and the APC people pulled their generators off the line for over 2 weeks, as a matter of fact 3 weeks, we had problems in this country. And when we made representation to them, the APC people, they refused to do certain things, and you know what we had to do? We had to go and get expensive diesel generating generators from Venezuela, costing us endless amount of money to run over a period of time. And I said to myself, well, nobody again in this country will be able to do that to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. That was my position. That would not be allowed to happen again. Nobody is going to hold this government or this country to ransom. So, brothers and sisters, that is my position. And we're moving forward on this. Yes? Big Gassenbaum said, oh, he wants to reconsider this, reconsider that. He's trying to cover himself because he knows that they're after him simply because he does not support their position. But the reality of the situation is, my dear good people, whatever happens in the end, I am totally and completely satisfied that we get value for money, the engines are new, they are performing, we have nothing to be ashamed of, and we're going forward! We're going forward, my dear good people. All who want to ask for this and ask for that, all kind of bloody irrelevances they're talking about. Until they hear one of them saying, oh, how can you have engines that cannot be, I forget the term that they use, but it's to be able to use other forms of fuel. We here talk about renewable energy and so on. You know? And then making the point of coming out boldly, oh, we have engines here that cannot be re-engineered to take new forms of fuel. Nothing can go so, you know. The fact of the matter is that these engines can be re-engineered at any time to take the kind of fuel that they're talking about. The facts are there, my dear good people. Let me just, I think I should just take the opportunity to read a comment that was made after this outcry in the public by one of the individuals who was very much involved with this. He was one of the engineers who went to China on 2 occasions. Right? And since in January, and this has been out there now, the amazing thing about it, all these things came out in the public. But nobody remembered them. Nobody remembered the comments and the thoughts that were expressed. But let me read the first paragraph, and this was addressed to Lyndon Francis, who is the electricity manager. And it came from the engineer, Winston White. I'm going to call his name because he had a problem with this. Since January 23rd. And he was speaking to, and he was responding to public outcry. Listen to what the young man said. And he was on television tonight, speaking to the issue. In reference to ongoing public debate in the local media regarding whether the 6 diesel engines installed in the new 30 megawatt power plant were new when delivered to site. I write on behalf of the new 30 megawatt power plant construction technical committee to offer a view on this matter, which seemingly continues to snowball. This is since in January this young man wrote this. Based on our involvement in the testing of the engines, both in China and Antigua, we wish to categorically state that the engines are new and were newly assembled from new parts and components before delivery to Antigua. I am always, my dear good people, looking out to get opportunities for young people to get higher education anywhere it's available in the world. Just today, I met with the ambassador to the Eastern Caribbean for the Republic of South Korea. And I said to him, you know, we have this program where we are giving scholarships to young deserving Antiguans and Barbudans to study abroad in institutions that are reputable and can give them a sound education. And I said to him, listen, When I checked the last time, I didn't see that South Korea was on that list.
What he say?
And he said to me, well, listen, as of next year,
What?
as of next year,
What you gonna do?
South Korea will be on the list. We will be offering scholarships to Antiguans and Barbudans to study in South Africa, in South Korea. So brothers and sisters, this is what we're doing. It's happening in all corners of the world right now. You have young Antiguans and Barbudans getting tertiary education. Not only the education, but they're getting to learn at least another language. Do you realize what that is going to do for the development of Antigua and Barbuda? We are developing individuals who will have marketable skills that they can trade not only in Antigua and Barbuda, but anywhere in the world, and with the additional language that they get. Some of them have 2 or 3 languages. You realize what that is doing for our young people? We are giving them marketable skills, an opportunity that they will have anywhere in the world they go. They can stand up as men and women because they have the skills, they have the education, they have the training, and they have the language skills to go with that. So brothers and sisters, a wonderful program. As my other colleagues say, we were not about getting all these opportunities and dump them in the rubbish bin. That is what they used to do. I remember Reuben Harris was Minister of Education and he said so. They get all these things from time to time, and instead of offering them to the young people of Antigua and Barbuda, they dump them in the rubbish bin in their various offices. Well, no. For us, this is a revolution in itself in terms of what we're doing for the young people in Antigua and Barbuda. And some people used to question it and say, oh, where will we find employment for all these people? Listen to me. That is neither here nor there. When you put something in a man's head or in a woman's head, and he has that, he can do a number of things with that. Whether here in Antigua and Barbuda or elsewhere. So brothers and sisters, that should not be a deterrent. Give the young people the opportunity to get the best possible education they can get. And we're not discriminating either. You ever hear Max Hurst on ZDK radio and elsewhere? You ever hear him? Yeah, but I'm just making the point that his daughter was one of the persons who received one of those scholarships. We don't discriminate. His son, not daughter, his son. And there are others that we can call up, but we don't want to make this thing political. Because what we're saying is that we are educating every Antiguan and Barbudan, irrespective of whether you're Labour or UPP or nobody, no party. And so we don't do that. They get the support, while the young people would have demonstrated that they have the capacity and the minimum requirements that are necessary to go through the process. We give them the opportunity because we want to ensure that the future of Antigua and Barbuda is secured when you educate your young people. So brothers and sisters, that is why I'm saying we have a lot to be proud of. We've done a lot of other things that would have benefited the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, there are current challenges. Yes, we're trying to address the question of unemployment. And even with that, my dear good people, they're doing everything to sabotage the efforts of the government. Every move we make to deal with that, the thing up at Long Bay, even if the beaches project at Long Bay, they do everything to sabotage that. Now we're talking about the economic citizenship situation. They're saying all kind of things. Every move that we make, they make an effort to derail us. But we are not going to be deterred. We are moving forward because we are the government of Antigua and Barbuda today. So brothers and sisters, I just want to reassure you that you are in safe hands with the United Progressive Party. You are in safe hands with your humble servant. You can close your eyes. You can close your eyes and go to sleep and know that you have your leader and the United Progressive Party firmly in place to deliver on your behalf. So brothers and sisters, we're going to have our challenges, we're going to have our difficulties from time to time. That is the nature of politics. That is the nature of governance. I just came back from a program in St. Vincent the other day where we were looking at governance in small island states. And let me tell you this is not an easy issue. When you are in 2 or 3 countries like Antigua and Barbuda, and the whole question of governance, where literally everybody knows everybody else. It's not like in big countries where you have hundreds of thousands of people as part of a constituency, and sometimes you don't even see the representative until every 5 or 4 years when you have to go to the ballot box and vote for them. Not so. Huh? Oh, you see them on TV. That is all. But in places like Antigua and Barbuda, every day, everybody has your humble server telephone. Both home and cell and office. Just about everybody in Antigua. They have my telephone number. So they call me every time, even 2 o'clock in the morning and so. Right? But that is part of the relationship that we have developed over the years where there is this closeness. And that in itself makes governance a bit of a challenge. But we have done an excellent job, my dear good people, in terms of that. We have the connection with the people because we can't get away from them. Everybody knows everybody else in the communities, and they know their representatives, and they can reach out to them, have their numbers, go to their home, wake you up at 3 and 4 in the morning, and so on. That is part of it. But in itself, it makes the whole issue of governance and delivery of service more difficult for individuals like ourselves. But we are managing, and we're doing it in the best interest of you, the people. So I want you to keep the faith, my dear good people. We are not going to get it right all the time, but I can tell you 99% of the time we're getting it right. We're getting it right, my dear good people. So we want you just to keep the faith and continue to be loyal, committed, and faithful to the cause, my dear good people. Whatever issues we have internally, we are capable of resolving those issues and moving forward together in unity and strength. I am delighted to have been in Cashel tonight. I'm delighted to be in St. Mary's North. Thank you very much for coming out. We have a good thing going, my dear good people. Let us keep the faith. No retreat. No retreat. No retreat. One love. Good night. May God bless you. Have a safe journey home. Let us continue the fight for justice, the fight for good governance, and the fight for prosperity for the people. Thank you very much, and good night.